and then let in imported foods. I'm not against trade or import-export, but I am when it's to the exclusion of vibrant local economies with local farmers at the center of the economy and the culture as esteemed, respected carriers of wisdom.
I don't know if I answered everything, but
That's a start. Sure, I do.
Oh, excellent. It's supposed to be your job.
So I'm not well versed in the science part of this, but I didn't hear a lot about whether there is research going on about what the health implications are. Because if I'm looking at a package that says genetically modified, I don't really know what that means. If you tell me there's insecticide in your corn, I think, okay, that sounds bad. But what does it mean that there's a pig gene in my tomato or a trout gene in my strawberry? I don't know whether or not that's bad for my kid to eat then. So is there a movement towards, on the science end, not just labeling, but to actually know here's the long-term effect of having the pig gene in your tomato?
You can start.
So there have been very serious consequences with genetically modified foods. Life, it's a diverse, complex, dynamic, inherently unpredictable science. And that's why we have to apply the precautionary principle. So when you insert a gene, say a flounder antifreeze, the Arctic flounder, they have something that would make a lot of sense to put in a tomato because it would be okay to be frozen. That sounds very desirable, but there's a whole, because life is so dynamic and complex and diverse and creative and innovative and responsive, all these wonderful things. Yes, you make this one change, but it has a cascade of effects that scientists can't predict. And there have been some very serious health impacts. And a lot is unknown. So maybe it isn't right to be categorically against the technology, but there are so many questions. And so
I'm just going to say essentially the same thing, but we don't know is the biggest answer, and we're not following basic scientific principles to find out. We're skipping the process of finding out, and similar to the elections, in terms of universities, the vast majority of dollars are going to support this versus fight it. So there are some universities, UNH being one of them, that are focusing more on UNH. University of Washington is actually another one, but unfortunately the dollars on research are also leaning in the wrong direction. So yes, there are people out there who are researching this and looking into this, but this is not a 1-year question or a 2-year question. As she said in the movie, it's a 10, 20, 30-year question, and we're not really even answering the 0 to 5-year question, let alone the 5 to 25, 30-year question. So yes, but not nearly enough. In similar to elections, I feel like the weight is more going to the Monsanto side and the Bayer side versus that. But people understand this, going back to the writing, talking, having a conversation, every election you lose can be a step in the right direction. You think of, the social justice and how long that has taken and is still taking. I mean, I sort of see, food justice sort of hopefully following the same path, and unfortunately, it's not the fastest path, but just every step gets us closer, and you can beat the big dollars, but it doesn't happen overnight.
Other questions?
There? Yep.
I don't need the mic.
Yes,
I was
we do. It's just for these guys.
Oh. Hi.
hi.
I heard someone say that, mention the word progressive, and it seems to me that there is a younger faction of progressives who see the GMO movement, the GMO labeling movement as anti-science. And I was wondering if you could comment on that, or is this a thing, or is it something that's passing?
It's a thing. Well, millennials buy more organic and non-GMO foods than other generations. So it is a thing. Younger people, I mean, I love seeing the young girl who became a young woman as the movie was produced. It's really at both ends of the spectrum. On the older side, people are doing this more on the younger side, and sort of in between my age, unfortunately, that wasn't as concentrated on this. But the reality is millennials are thinking a lot more about their food. They're buying more organic food, even though they don't have the money. They're looking for the non-GMO butterfly. So yes, people are making decisions with their purchase decisions and with their eating habits that are moving us there. So it is a thing. It's not anti-science. Buying behavior shows that this is moving, and that bigger brands, which I'll call more GMO brands, are losing market share. More natural brands, non-GMO brands, organic brands are gaining market share. But again, starting at a much lower level and trying to catch up. But it is moving in the right direction, albeit maybe not as fast as the people in this room would like.
I'm sorry, I think you misunderstood the question. The question is whether the younger millennials are being convinced that the issues about GMOs are being pushed by people that are anti-science.
I'm not sure. I think that the two things that come to mind is this sphere of science, which in this case is very it's completely industry-led, and so the science aspect is corruptible, and when it's not peer-reviewed, it is, in fact, that being the anti-science piece. And then the other thing I think of just campaigning and marketing and the kind of twist that maybe is happening through the media, or just impressions that are from false advertising or misleading advertising. So I don't know if things are kind of that corruptible science is then getting further twisted and then ending up with some weird impressions, but I don't know if it...
Of course that's being said, because it's very unusual. It's a very particular to modernity that we think we cannot stop technological scientific progress. I personally don't think that any technology is neutral. I think most have positive elements and negative elements. And I think here in New Hampshire, with the town hall is so important, that we should be having town halls to assess in a balanced way, in a democratic conversation, look at various technologies. And Jacques Ellul, the French philosopher who wrote the Technological Society, I mean, he said it's a very rare phenomenon that a culture will not debate a technology before taking it on. You know, I had the great good fortune of studying with Andy Kimbrell back in the 90s for a week in England, and I remember in one of his lectures, he quoted Emerson as saying, "In the absence of the sacred, the danger is not that we'll believe in nothing, but that we'll believe in anything." And he said we have this new holy trinity of the global market, we can buy anything. Global science, we can know anything. In global technology, we can do anything. But as humans, our creativity we become stronger when we're limited. We know that as parents. We know that as artists. When you have to express what you want to express in a small space of a canvas, limits are what give us freedom, actually. And so this whole, it's okay to say no to a technological development. It's not anti-science, it's it's pro-intelligence, I think.
Hi, I'm probably not going to be super popular, but I majored in biotechnology. I now teach at the prison and teach science. At the age of 33, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I reevaluated everything that I was eating. And first of all, in terms of biotechnology, I don't think we have a problem with biotechnology. We have a problem with responsible science. It's not happening. And we have people that are doing science, but they're bought by money, and they are going to feed their need and skew their things to make their products. So that's industry funded studies that are being done. We're lied to on a regular basis, and the part that becomes not popular is I appreciate what you are doing. But if we're talking about the environment and we're talking about feeding the world, it takes so much resources to feed animals. And when we eat mainly animals or eat a large diet of animals and eggs, we're told that these things are actually part of a healthy diet, but eggs cannot be labeled as healthy or safe. And that's the USDA. And I think the USDA is pretty corrupt. So when they're saying that those things are not safe, that's saying something. And if we want to feed the world, go plant-based or mainly plant-based, because think about how much grain it takes to feed these animals and how much land and how many rainforests and acres are destroyed every day to feed us. Meat, eggs, and dairy, that is the wealthy man and woman's food. You want to feed the poor, you want to feed the world, feed them vegetables. There's more protein, there's more vitamins, there's more minerals. You talk about soy and dairy, yeah, where do they go to make? Junk food. That food is on the shelf, it's the main thing in our grocery stores, but it doesn't feed the world. We have people that are overfed and malnourished. They're overweight, they're sick, they're dying. And people like me, we get cancer at age 33. You want to know if the young people are interested in science? We're not anti-science. We want the truth. And the thing is, the truth's not being told to us. It's just not. And so people are, they're paying their money. You see, we know all these slogans. Milk does the body good. Well, milk actually will has a leading cause, of osteoporosis, osteoarthritis. And that's not being said. Milk does the body good is a slogan. That is not a fact. And we need to be told facts and stop having this misinformation passed along. And we take it, because you know what, we don't have time. We don't have time to look up all these things. So we listen to our doctors. And you know what, our doctors have had less nutrition education than we have. I teach my inmates, they get more hours with me based on nutrition than your doctor does. So when I get frustrated and I say, hey, I have, a history of breast cancer, not one of them talked to me about halting my disease or lowering my percentage of getting cancer. Now, I'll never know what caused my cancer. It could be some environmental concern, it could be some mutation, it could be genetics. But the thing is, you know what? One cancer cell does not kill you. 2 cancer cells do not kill you. It's when it becomes a billion is when it becomes detectable. And you know what? Your cells can either grow within 24 days or 25 days in terms of doubling, or it can be over 100 days. So you can get, cancer in 2 years, or you can get it by the time you're 100, and you die of something else. And we're just not told those facts. So look at some information. Look up Dr. Michael Greger. Look up Caldwell Esselstyn. Look at Colin Campbell. These are people who are not gaining industry-funded money. They are telling this information. They're giving it to you for free. NutritionFacts.org is a great resource. It gives you all the information for free. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to, do anything. They want you to know the information, but you know what? They're marginalized. They're marginalized by the industry every single day. I'm sorry I'm not popular. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It is a great step towards a healthy living, but we need to go further for it. Otherwise, we are not going to have a planet to live on. Actually, if we're going to have a planet, we're not going to be here.
Sorry.
Don't apologize.
I guess I might just build on that commentary. Thank you for your input. But I mean, how do you shift the finances from the mega business, mega agriculture to eliminate kickbacks there, or whatever you call them, and get money in the hands of the local farmers and small farmers?
Hey, Steve. Can I say something? Well, I guess can I answer the question? I was going to add to what she said. It's okay. Go ahead.
I mean, that's a big challenge, honestly. But again, I think it's dialogues like this is having open discussion and transparency. Again, whatever the choices you make, you're allowed to make those choices. I mean, I didn't know if we were going to stand up and say I'm in favor of eating GMO foods, which would also be a very okay opinion for someone to have. It's not necessarily the opinion I have. It's not necessarily the opinion you have. So I do believe that, again, I'm just going to keep saying the word transparency and open dialogue and so forth. Right now, however, again, I don't want to come across as anti-government, but I do feel like that dialogue, going back to the original letter question, I'm not going to keep pointing at you, sorry, is that we do have to have politicians that allow more, not just visibility in terms of transparency in terms of our food, but visibility in the process. And right now, the process isn't visible because it is sort of focused on those larger things. So again, to me, it really goes back to encouraging people to speak their voice and use their spending habits to buy what they believe in and continue the conversation that way.
Yeah, no, thank you for saying all that. I think that the industrialization of our food has a lot of effects that you're speaking about, and why the movie is disturbing and kind of heart-wrenching when we all come to terms with this. I think my first reaction when I was 15 and thought about a lot of this was start listening to punk rock and go vegan. And I think that there's so many different levels that people can find information and healthy discourse and debate and engage other folks about it. And then either there's policy levels or there's politics, and then there's like I was saying before, kind of just growing your own food. And so I think there's just so many different levels to engage, and we all just pick things that really make sense to us, make us feel whole. And teaching in the prisons is a really incredible, admirable thing to do.
Yes, everybody's gift is needed now, and it's a diverse mix and of viewpoints, and we need all the perspectives, I believe. To answer the question about how do we move the money, it's the new economy movement is really exciting, and they're working on so many fronts. I would say enforcing antitrust legislation, and also our economic system encourages overproduction, because as prices decline, farmers are forced to produce more to make their bottom line. And so to reverse that, getting bigger or getting out, shifting subsidies. And I think it is also really important to